Welcome back to the Monotype Multiverse. I'm I Want Your Burger, and thank you for being here with me today. So, if you missed it, last time in Kanto, I drafted a team from just 10 normal type Pokemon on a route roulette, then spun for everything, including items I could use and held items before facing the Elite Four, but Lorelei was too tough. What do I do? Do I try again? Do I try a new type, or do I just quit forever? What? Oh, great wheel, tell me, what do I do? Okay, well, there you have it. But I wasn't satisfied with what the wheel had offered up. So I caught all available route Pokemon and raised them to level 60. Now I'll still be equipping all held items and choosing that by the wheel. I'll also be selecting items I can use in battle against the Elite Four with a wheel. But I'm also going to be flipping coins for rare candies until I enter the Hall of Fame in this installment of the all-out route roulette Normal Edition. Each time I would face the Elite Four would be unique because the lineup was changing, the held items that I had to equip would change, and the battle items I was allowed to use would also change. So I was very pleased to see Stantler line up first. We've got High Special there. We've got Farfetch'd, which could be beneficial against Bruno. I don't know though. And Wigglytuff. Okay, good special as well. Ditto, perfect in the right situation. Our Smeargle, which I think I broke, and we have Exploud. Okay, so to round things out, we have to leave everything up to chance, including items. Let's get into it next. Of course, there are some pros and cons to each heads and tails here, but let's see what we wind up with. 3 of each. All right. Now I would spin for 2 held items to equip facing the Elite Four. Now, I will say, unfortunately, I managed to lose the Quick Claw, and I'm not really sure how I did that. Maybe I accidentally sold it, but going forward through this run, I'm just going to replace that with the Sharp Beak. So I'm going to wind up with that, and surprisingly enough, Metal Powder. Perfect. What shall it be? Guard Special, no. X Special, okay. I guess that'll have to do. Okay, let's hide that one from the wheel. And spin again. What is the second one I will bring with me? Please be something good, because the lineup is not looking good. X Attack, not ideal. Okay, but the wheel has spoken, and so shall it be. I know it was a lot of spinning, but stick with me because it's time to face the Elite Four once again. Lorelei first, and I'm leading with Stantler. And let me tell you, this guy hits with a wallop right out of the gate. That high special attack, paired with the ability to learn electric type moves, is going to allow me to put Lorelei's team in a really bad spot. Now, I most certainly opted for Thunderbolt over Thunder, mostly for the fact that its accuracy is so much better, but I knew that her Dugong and her Lapras could tank a Thunder at this level. So despite Stantler still being a powerhouse in Special, I swear this thing is, I'm thinking a Hall of Famer. I think this is a Hall of Famer hopeful. See Stantler show you it's all about the special. Oh my goodness! It's a miracle! Oh my gosh. Okay, only Jinx remains. There you have it. I can't believe it. Needless to say, I was a little bit surprised at Stantler's performance, and I didn't have to use a whole lot of items, not even a rare candy to revive anyone. Next up is Bruno, and as you already know, there are some high defenses on this team, and I've got a type disadvantage versus 3 of his Pokemon. So I've got to put up my own defenses and try to save any life I can here. Now, I'm going to go in with Ditto and go in for that transform and try to use Earthquake against him. Now, I'm going to wind up successful here, and I hit pretty hard. Don't forget, we equipped that metal powder, which increases my defense, but his second Onix will sadly take my Ditto down. Oh no. Okay, let's get that light screen up. While light screen will put off a little bit of damage from those earthquakes that Onix is throwing at us, it's not going to do anything to protect against the fighting type moves, including all of the kicking and punching and all of that. So very unfortunate for the team. Last to go down is Smeargle, and the team is exhausted. Time to return to the plateau. Let's spin again, build the next team. Without further ado, who will be the first addition? Kangaskhan, all right, I'm happy with that. Let's see what's next. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Stantler again. Dodrio, oh, well, this might be better facing Bruno. And I say that because Dodrio is a ton faster than our Farfetch'd was. You know what I'm realizing? I'm not hiding these slices. So if I spin a double, I'll just get rid of that. It looks like Pidgeot is number 3. Fearow is number 4. What's going on? Zangoose, 5. Is that 5? Let's get 6. Oh, invalid. Swellow, insane. All of these birds, Lorelei is gonna be so tough. Let's see what the first one is gonna be. Now you may notice there are more on the wheel. That means I'll be taking more. Perfect. Okay, this time it's going to be a little bit different with the items. I'm going to eliminate 5 of these and take 3 each of those remaining. So let's see. What do I wind up with? Oh, no. No, that's not a good sound for that. I'm sad. At this point, I am upping the ante. I will be taking in a greater variety of battle items to support me on my journey to the Hall of Fame. And I've got a few other bonuses I'd like to flip and spin for. Alright, so after refilling my pack, it's time to flip for some rare candies. There's 2 coins. The second is either a bonus or 0. So, alright, must be a wormhole or all of the spinning, but I found myself here in the chamber with Lorelei. But this time, I'm going to feed some rare candies to my team members before I face her. Any unused rare candy will not roll over into my next run, and I cannot use them during battle. So if I'm not sure if I'm going to make it out of battle alive, I think I'm going to give one to Kangaskhan and Claudia, my Zangoose, now. Luckily for me, in the all-out route roulette randomizer rumble, I can teach my Pokemon any TM they naturally learn, and that's going to allow me to build diversity into my changing teams. So while Kangaskhan could learn electric type moves, I thought, why not leave that to Claudia, who also can learn thunder, who, might I add, did very well, very luckily holding that Lumberry. As you know, I have to equip all of the held items that I spin for, and they may be effective or maybe ineffective. In that case, it was very effective and saved Claudia for a while, and at least long enough to put some damage on. Now, here's where things started getting dicey. I had to use some birds, but we have some hard hitters as long as they can avoid taking damage. So far, I was getting lucky and it was looking pretty good. It looked like Toxic might have been a decent decision on my part here, just trying some new TMs out, as I'm sure this wouldn't be my last time facing Lorelei. Certainly me not dying in one hit like I predicted, but I just wasn't sure that Drill Peck was gonna do it. And now, since I had to sacrifice Claudia in a ploy to bait out an early full restore on Dugong, I had to find the right timing to revive Claudia, and I needed to do so before Lapras was on the board. Lapras could do serious damage to Kangaskhan, and I needed Kangaskhan to lead into the fight with Bruno, and I could not gamble with an asleep Pokemon. It just was not ideal. So luckily for me, Claudia pulls through, unable to land any more Thunders, Crush Claw, and a high attack. It's over and it's time to face Bruno. Now look, I'm not afraid to say it. I was pretty surprised that I even beat Lorelei. So now I was contending with double Onyx, a fighting type disadvantage, and the possibility of getting hit with Rock Tomb at any given point in this battle, okay? I think all of Bruno's Pokemon except Hitmonlee know the move Rock Tomb. So my best option was my OG Gen 1 Sturdy Birdie Pidgeot. All around, we've got evasiveness, we've got debuffs, we've got solid damage and accuracy with wing attack and also agility. So I think with a better move than wing attack, I've got a Hall of Fame hopeful here. What do you think? Here's why I think so, because I was able to offset some of that damage from Rock Tomb that my team is so susceptible to, allowing Beaker to land some steel wings and pack a pretty good punch, if I might add. The birds were really putting in their work, and I cannot deny them that. I was super astounded that I was getting this close to beating Bruno as well, just one Onyx in the way. Now, sometimes without healing items, it was better to feint a Pokemon and revive it later. So I took advantage of my time between battles, but shortly thereafter, I'm standing before Agatha. And let's just face it, her team on average will be faster than any level 60 lineup I come up with. That's just the facts. Agatha's opener, a level 54 Gengar, has an incredible base speed stat, and even my birds are having trouble keeping up with it. So I try my best to boost my evasion and hope to hit with some flying type moves before I fall asleep or succumb to poisoning. She does like that move Toxic, and it's going to be problematic without any full heals or full restores at my disposal. In fact, her very first Gengar was putting a hurting on my team, and I wasn't prepared to give up yet. Wingspan's move, Aerial Ace, finally allowed us to cut through her first Gengar and open the door to her next team member. Unfortunately, our Swellow here has sustained toxic damage, and things are not looking good at this point. Next, I was dealing with Sludge Bomb, which slams and left my team writhing in pain from poisoning. In the end, Agatha wound up with just 2 remaining Pokemon, but her level 58 Gengar proved to be just too fast, and that meant that I was exhausted and must return to the wheel for draft number 4. Only time would tell who would make the final cut, and as they revealed themselves one at a time, my strategy would unfold. So this time, I wound up with a Persian, Pidgeot, Kangaskhan, Fearow, Castform, and Lickitung, and spun for these items. For this round, I'm flipping for 4 rare candies out of a possible 5, but I'm still only going to take 3 each of the remaining items from the battle item wheel. While some of these items are more expensive than others, there is one thing for free. That's all of the content I've already posted. We're starting a series of monotype runs. Let me know in the comments below, do you have an idea for the next type? Well, I'm happy to have at least some restorative items in there, but I cannot forget about the must-equip held items. This time, we're gonna choose 4. Equipping one more held item this round may or may not help me at all. For example, Metal Powder is just not compatible with any of my current team members, so I'm just hoping for the best here and waiting to see what the wheel decides. Once again, before my battle with Lorelei, I'm going to feed a few rare candies to my team members. Now, I'm going to reserve a few of these as a last-ditch effort to revive a Pokemon to 1 HP, should it be necessary. So, it has its pros and cons. It will level me up, but it's only going to leave me with a few HP. So if I use that tactic, I need to consider using it on a fast Pokemon that may be able to come in at the most clutch moment and outspeed for a final hit. Is it likely? I'm not sure, but it's an option if necessary. But so far, it looks like Tung is hanging in there pretty well. Though we don't have any full restores to cure us of that freeze status, I'm just hoping that I can thaw out in time and land some Thunders. That's right. Lickitung learns Thunder, and Lorelei's team is super weak. Now, I gotta say, we got pretty lucky with the accuracy here, and I was forced to switch out because Yawn was used, and again, I don't have full restores. I cannot afford a Pokemon falling asleep at the wrong moment. Lucky for me, the switch pays off, and I learned that Beaker, my Fearow, can one-shot her Jinx with Drill Peck, so I'm going to retain that knowledge going forward and handle her final Pokemon, Lapras. Lapras was a real doozy for this lineup. It kept forcing me to use restorative items and switch in and out with my team members. And unfortunately, I knew that Lorelei still had a full restore. Finally, after confusing her Lapras, I seize the opportunity and throw Tung back into battle. It's time to use, that's right, Thunder again and end this once and for all. But it didn't go as planned. Her Lapras ends up paralyzing Tung, and I switch out again. She starts ripping through my team, and I realize that there is a downside to one-hit KOing her early Pokemon. I was unable to bait a full restore early on. And in any situation, as I might have previously stated, a full restore on her Lapras was a very difficult situation to deal with, to say the least. Nonetheless, I pull through thanks to Scratch, and before I face Bruno, I start divvying up some items to use on my team. And here I'm deciding to revive Pidgeot with 1 rare candy. There is a slight chance that I could outspeed his Pokemon and possibly take them out with a flying type move, but time would tell. At this point, I'm not sure if my Kangaskhan can outspeed Onix, so I lead with Lickitung in an attempt to stall. But it does not end well for Tung. I'm so sorry, my friend. However, I do find out that Kangaskhan holds its own against Onix. Unfortunately, I cannot outspeed Mach Punch. So after a rapid series of losses, I throw Beaker in, who turns around and surprises me with its own string of one-hit KOs before facing Hitmonlee. Now, here's where I think my critical mistake was. My timing with this revive was not great. Knowing that Bruno's Hitmonlee was much faster than my Kangaskhan, it probably would have been better just to leave Beaker in the battle to take Hitmonlee out and revive on the next turn. But that being said, hindsight is 20/20 after all. In this Monotype Multiverse, what could you really expect? Everything was being left to chance, and although my surroundings seemed the same, the circumstances kept changing, and they changed in some surprising ways later on. Now, that being said, that leaves me with one Pokemon facing Agatha, and I gotta say it, she never really seems happy that I'm here again. This time, Agatha is up to many of her old tricks, increasing her evasion and badly poisoning my Kangaskhan. But Kangaskhan is awfully tired. This has been quite a trip through the Elite Four, and Kangaskhan is sleeping through much of this battle. Fortunately, we cannot be poisoned while we are asleep, so we are operating on hope here and seeing how far it will take us. Until finally, Kangaskhan is so exhausted that it can no longer rest and succumbs to poisoning. That means it's time for draft number 5, where I select another 6 Hall of Fame hopefuls. But will they stand up to chance? Dunsparce, Aipom, Farfetch'd, Castform, Ursaring, and Girafarig comprise my next team. But their success hinges on fate. Will their movesets line up with the held items I must equip? Again, we are selecting 4 to take with us versus the Elite Four, but it's all a matter of what TMs I'm deciding to teach my teammates. Next, I'm gonna flip some coins for some rare candies and discover what battle items are available for use. This time, out of 1 to 5 rare candies, I walk away with 4, and I'm very hopeful that I'll be left with some useful items for battle. Now, I will have to keep earning money to replenish my stock of these items, but they are critical, especially with a team left up to chance. And in these Monotype Multiverses, you never know when you need a little more support. And while we're finding out what remains on the wheel, I want to say thank you for supporting me and the channel. It means a lot. I really hope you're having fun with these. I'm having a blast, and it's time to get back into it. Once again, I spin warp right into Lorelai's chamber and feed some candies to my well-deserving team before jumping into battle. Now, Forecast played a critical role in this battle. Thanks to learning some powerhouse moves like Thunderbolt, I'm able to range some attacks and bait out full restores while still dealing significant damage to most of her teammates. Forecast is aptly named because Castform's ability is Forecast, and I can avoid hazard damage from Hail, which has previously chipped away at my team's health. But Burger has been here before, many times in fact, so Burger has learned a few things, and it all paid off in the end. Lorelai's team stood no chance. Not only did Forecast show great potential versus Lorelai, but increased its odds as a Hall of Fame hopeful versus Bruno after learning Ice Beam, further expanding on my type advantages versus his lineup. Conserving Psychic for the battle with Agatha was primary concern of mine, so I did use my Farfetch'd Daikon, dodged some Rock Tombs, and was able to take down that Machamp, allowing my Apom to, yeah, I didn't know a better name to name it. I don't know what it's supposed to be, a monkey glove? Anyway, we were victorious, and it was time to face Agatha, but not before restoring my trusty little monkey glove. And I do so because that trusty little monkey glove is the fastest option I have versus this first Gengar. So also knowing the move Shadow Ball allows me to finally cut through some evasion and increase my odds for moving on. Unfortunately, Agatha still teaches her whole freaking team Sludge Bomb, and it really hurts. And I lose team member after team member. Here we are again, spinning the wheel for the 7th time, drafting another team of Hall of Fame hopefuls, collecting bonuses galore, and finding out what items will I get to use. But despite collecting some favorable items from time to time, I was met with immediate defeat. However, defeat simply meant there was another opportunity for victory, so I drafted my next team. I also walk away with 16 rare candies. Yes, that's right. Every time I fail, I'll increase the amount of rare candies possible for my flips. I'm also going to be equipping 6 held items and taking 5 each of the items remaining on the battle item wheel. Once I started battling the Elite Four, I could not move these held items from Pokemon to Pokemon. That meant that I would have to give some deep consideration to what movesets these items support, and also consider what TMs these Pokemon could learn in between battles. And my team was soaring to new heights. But sometimes too close to the sun, I guess. Okay, we're looking for 6 more. Better luck this time, Burger. The first one on the team is Swablu. Okay, next. Spinda? Uh-oh. And Raticate? Oh no. Oh no. Farfetch'd again. Kangaskhan. All right, one more. Who is the last? Oh boy, I'm nervous. No, not again. Not again, my broken Bob Ross. This is bad. No. I can't believe it. Oh, another run down the drain. I just already know. No. Yes, at times, the Monotype Multiverse was filled with mayhem, mishaps, mistakes, any other M words, maybe. However, through these doomed runs, I ended up learning more about the Pokemon available than I realized. So, I actually didn't break Bob Ross. It learned Safeguard, and though it wasn't much, it was something, right? In fact, Bob Ross learned Sketch after I fed it another rare candy. So, though that run did end in a bad situation, I had other sketchy situations to get into, and a lot of times they didn't even involve Smeargle. So, a lot of the runs ended up being very, very upsetting. So, each time I flipped for more rare candies, it gave me the option to spread them out amongst new teams. And I needed to consider this going forward because in the end, my rival would have much higher level Pokemon, so I needed to close the gap. But maybe not the gap you're thinking. No, I'm not referring to a level gap, but the gap of abilities and statistics, and let's face it, outright amount of hit points. Many of the normal type Pokemon on the wheel weren't tanky. You know, think about a cast form compared to a Venusaur or Blastoise. Those could be rival options, right? Each round, I would have more and more rare candies to play around with. So some of these runs, I would get like 30 or 40. You know, think about ranges like that. So that allowed me to level all of my team up pretty equally and then conserve some in case I didn't spin to acquire any revives. So there were a ton of situations that these Pokemon were acquiring levels. So if you're seeing a lot of level 69 Pokemon here, you might be wondering, well, how many runs were there? Well, my Hall of Fame hopefuls ran more than 18 runs through the Elite Four. Yes, more. And sometimes I was so close that it even had me saying, more? Really? How much more? However, at the time, Burger didn't know that this was the last time he would spin these wheels. And it would be the last time he would flip for some rare candies. And he didn't know how close he was to the Hall of Fame. All he knew was that he needed some especially useful items, and was hoping that some good ones were left on the wheel. And he really did buy the finest for this adventure. So would it have all been worth it, or was it all for naught? Burger was curious. Burger wanted to know what a rare candy tasted like. Burger was thinking about a lot of things, but he certainly wasn't counting on a victory anytime soon, unfortunately. Burger would spin for Yoke, Stantler, Scratch, Bulldozer, Ursula, and Picasso before finding out what items the wheel would determine they would have to equip. He was packing along items like leftovers, and those might go well with those lemonades he got to pack as well. And his Pokemon really did love the lemonade. After all, they had all worked very hard, and Burger put in a fair amount of hours as well. So, how did it pan out? Once again, Burger spun himself into a frenzy right back into the Elite Four chambers, facing Lorelei, Bruno, Agatha, and Lance for what would be the last round through normal Kanto. And this time was a little bit different. Burger had learned a trick or two. Now, he had fed his Pokemon quite a few rare candies, 9 each to be exact, and 9 was the limit. At 70, they might become disobedient, and every turn was critical here. So by optimizing his movesets in between battles, Burger managed to take down the first 3 with almost no trouble at all, though items were running low. Meaning his team would sometimes begin in a precarious position. And Burger certainly planned to take as many of these items as he could, as long as he didn't use them all up facing Lance. Luckily, he found himself victorious. However, okay, so all of my TMs are in place, and now, unfortunately, I have to revive Blissey using a rare candy. That's gonna put Blissey over the obedience level, so this could be a gamble at level 70, but it's a necessary evil. I'll have to restore her health all the way to full so that there is plenty to share with Picasso. Now, Picasso knows rest because Picasso needs to rid itself of paralysis. And in order for me to do that, I need to first boost its agility and then go in for the kill. That's the plan. Pidgeot is up first, and it was dire. So let's get right into it. Hot dog versus burger. Who will walk away victorious? Okay. First things first, let's try and boost our agility. Oh no. Okay, I'm going for 2 phases of agility first. And hopefully we're not paralyzed. Let's go right into rest. No. Oh, too close. I don't like that. Okay, let's get an awakening and use that right away. Okay, just need to hit. Zap Cannon misses. That's very unfortunate. Will the second hit? No! Okay, we're gonna have to change our plan here. 1 Ice Beam in. Will we freeze? No. Okay, we have to rest again. Alright, 1 more awakening. And Ice Beam. Okay, next should be Alakazam. And we should be faster than Alakazam at this point. So, without Zap Cannon, I'm going right in for Ice Beam. I have no other option. And a freeze! How lucky is that? I think what we need to do is switch out. Hopefully it does not thaw out immediately. And we should be able to take this out with Shadow Ball. I don't like the idea of leaving so many full restores, but I don't think we have a choice. Gonna go right for the evasion. It pays off. Will 1 more be worth it? Let's try it out. Okay, so far so good. Going for Shadow Ball. Can we lower its special defense? No, and we're gonna succumb to sleep. Okay, we still got an awakening. I think I need to use it here. Yes, we missed Egg Bomb. That's perfect. It hits very, very hard. Is this enough? Will there be a full restored thrown out? Or can we range this? Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. All right, this is excellent. Rhydon is next. I think we're still evasive enough. We're just gonna go right for Shadow Ball. Can we lower its special defense at all before taking a fatal hit? No. Oh my gosh, thank you, Scratch. Okay, Picasso is back in. All right. I think we just need to go right in for an Ice Beam. I don't know that we'll even survive. Wow. 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 Okay, this could be an opportunity to rest. I think there's a full restore here. Yes. Okay. Excellent. I am out of awakenings, though. And I'm just hoping we wake up super quick. The earthquakes are going to hit pretty hard. I may not survive the second. Wow. Insanity, but it's not enough. Rhydon is hit with recoil, though. That might be good news. In case it's wearing an item. Right in for an earthquake. Is it enough? Ursula? Oh, wow. The speed is going down. Okay. Much to be expected. We're going to take a pretty hefty hit here. But this should end that. All right. Wow. Okie dokie. Arcanine, I think the best bet here. Oh, wow. Let's just hit it with Earthquake. I think we can tank a flamethrower. it is enough. We are not fast, though. Unless something miss. Okay, that's okay. Thank you, Ursula. Stantler, you're in. Is there a full restore about to be used here? I think I need to confuse here. I need to buy a turn. Yes! Okay, calm mind. Can we evade one more hit? Yes, we can. I don't want to push this. Earthquake should end Arcanine, leaving Blastoise. Okay, we're in a 2v1 situation here, folks. And it is so close. Is it enough? No. Okay, he's setting it up, but does he have another full restore? I can't remember. Is this it? Folks, we've done it. We've entered the Hall of Fame, normal style. This has been wow. I don't even have words for it. I am flabbergasted right now. That was so close. I don't know if I could have relied on Blissey at all. Once they start disobeying you, it's another thing. Wow. Hey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Monotype Multiverse. It was quite a rumble here relying on the roulette randomizer. I'm so happy. I can't wait to actually see the Hall of Fame on that PC screen. Come on, Professor Oak. Show me what I want to see. My normal type Hall of Fame. We've done it, folks. Oh, wow. Porygon, Blissey, Ursaring, Tauros, Persian, and Stantler. What a mix. That's all I have for you today. I hope you're ready for the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, peace out, everyone.